Good morning, everyone. Good evening, and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Denzobos, and you are welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empath free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality, and I talk about personal and self-development. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us. Give us a like, share the video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. Now, in today's video, guys, I'm going to let you know exactly how you tell that you have injured a narcissist. So I've usually been talking about the narcissistic injury. You guys have heard me in my videos, and I've told you that every now and then the narcissist would usually get an injury. So you see, for the most of the individuals get hurt. Yes, individuals get hurt in normal circumstances. But when it comes to narcissists, it's more than hurt. So it becomes some kind of an injury. And an injury for a narcissist is also very deep. But before I do this video, guys, I would like to pass out an announcement. First of all, I would like to make an announcement. For the most of you guys who are just joining us, you're new to this channel, I've always had a project called the Empath Speak Out Project. Now, this project helps many individuals around the world, especially victims of narcissistic abuse, to come out and speak, because a lot of individuals out there, they do not have their own platforms. So I've every now and then offered my platform to encourage you guys to come out and speak, because remember, I've told you guys that by speaking, you're also healing. It's one of the things I've done to heal, because the narcissist wants to destroy you, torture you, and do all these kind of things, and they expect you to go out down there and sit down, feel sorry for yourself, and suffer in silence. So I refuse that. Personally, I refuse that. And the first thing what I did when I woke up from abuse, I came out and I started to speak. And of course, eventually through speaking, my experience, my stories, for the most of you guys who have been with me for a very long time, you know that I've always been talking about my story every now and then. Those are the only ways that those are one of the ways that I've used to speak out and also heal, because I noticed every time I spoke about these things, I continue to heal. So the Empath Speak Out Project, it also helps you to get your story out there. You might have something you want to share with the world out there. You know what I mean? You might have something on your chest. You want to let it out there. My platform is there, the Empath Speak Out Project. You can always come out, reach out to me, guys. The email is in the description below. I'll get back to you, and I can actually bring you live on this platform. I've got a live platform now. We can talk face to face about whatever it is you've been going through. You might come around here and share your story with us, and you know, by sharing this story, you're going to understand that actually there's so many people around the world who are in the same situation like you. So they are in that situation where you have been, and by speaking out, you're also helping other individuals to come to terms with whatever it is they have been going through, or they are still going through when it regards narcissistic abuse. So empaths, speak out. It's your right to speak. Nobody's going to silence you. Do not allow these vampires to silence you, because you have got a right to speak, and speaking is your birthright. So when it comes to narcissistic injury, guys, you have got to know that narcissists, every now and then, you know, when you encounter them, when you deal with them on a daily basis, every now and then you will do some of those things that are actually going to actually injure them. You know what I mean? But you see, most of the narcissists, they know this. They know the depth of the injury, because that injury actually, it bruises the narcissist intensively and very, very bad, and most of them, they cannot handle that. But sometimes it can happen that they cannot, as much as they don't want to handle it or experience the injury, it happens also sometimes that they have no other option but to face their own shadow and actually come face to face with the narcissistic injury. So that's why you see some of the times when you're dealing with them, you see them gaslighting you sometimes. You know, they shift the blame to you. You know, sometimes you try to blame them for the things they have done. They're gaslighting you, they're blame shifting, they're doing all these little things because they are running away from the injury, because they know that should you hold them accountable for the things they have done or the things they have said, you are actually going to cause them an injury. So sometimes they are running away from these things by gaslighting you to make you believe that actually whatever it is going on, it is not what you think it is, or it is not what you think they have said. So they will run away from these situations every now and then. But when it comes to that they have really got to face their own shadow, because at one point in time you have caught up on them. They are going to have a serious, guys, I will tell you this from experience, that injury from narcissistic is very, very serious. So way number one that you will notice a narcissistic injury, the most obvious one is those individuals all of a sudden they are going to go mute. So they will go mute sometimes. Sometimes you will see them, they will freeze in time, you know. So by this, what I mean is that they are going to stop whatever it is they are doing. You could have injured them. For example, you may not have been in the vicinity. You may be sometimes away, very far away from them, and you cause them an injury through a text message or through a call or things like that. They are going to close themselves in the house and they are going to suffer that injury by themselves. So it is going to be very, very difficult. They are going to mute. They will actually freeze in time. You will see them. They have locked themselves in the house. They are nowhere to be seen. They are somewhere in the bedroom suffering because they don't want anybody to see them in that state. Because when a narcissist is going through an injury, it is very, very painful for them, and it's very, very difficult for them to come out to the public because everybody is going to know exactly what is going on with them. And of course, eventually, we all know they do not have a clear explanation as to what exactly is happening to them. So they will mute and they will freeze in time. The second way you can experience, you might want to understand that you have actually caused a narcissistic injury is all of a sudden when you're going to see those narcissists, they are going to start aging in a way that you've never seen before. You might have been dating a guy, for example. We will give an example of a relationship in this case, but it can also be a friendship in some way or the other. So you will sometimes be with a narcissist, and all of a sudden you will see if they have been, for example, 40, in just a couple of days. Sometimes it could be a week. It might even sometimes go up to 2 weeks. You are going to notice that those individuals, for some reason, their facial features have altered. If your guy is following them on social media, you will see also sometimes that their pictures, when you compare their pictures to the individuals you used to know before, you are going to see them that they have started aging at a rate that you've never seen before. So a lot of things will alter in their faces. So for the most of you guys who have been believing all of a sudden that narcissism is psychological and all these mental disorders and everything, I'll guarantee you guys this whole thing is spiritual, and there's a lot of spiritual activity going on behind the scenes. Of course, a lot of you guys don't know this because you have been made to believe that whatever is going on with the narcissist, all these kind of things are mental disorders. It has got nothing to do with that, guys. You already know that on my videos. I dive deep into the narcissistic abuse, and I've always told you that this whole thing is spiritual. These individuals, that they are battling their own demons, and there's something else behind the veil that you guys don't already know. But for the most of us who have already been there, we have seen what exactly is behind the veil, and now we're creating awareness so that you guys can have the chance also to break free the same way that we do. So another way you will notice a narcissistic injury is, so for example, you have been away from their vicinity, so you have caused that injury when you're not in that place at that moment. The narcissist is going to turn to the people around them. So you may sometimes see, if it's your parent, for example, if it's a narcissistic parent, they're going to turn to your siblings. So there will be sometimes siblings in the vicinity, sometimes there will be little children, sometimes there will be friends and or these other members in that area at that moment. So the narcissist is going to turn to those people and they are going to actually rage at them in a way, again, that you've never seen before. So the narcissist is going to run into rage. They will start to shout at everybody. They will bark at everybody. They will throw plates around the house. They will start breaking a glass or two. So they are going to completely go into maximum rage. So for the most of you guys, if you hear stories like, or for example, you guys, you had the conversation. If you hear sometimes, let's say your siblings are calling you, then they are telling you, oh, you know what, there was an incident you guys had on the phone last time, and then all of a sudden, maybe your father, maybe the mother, they started raging at everybody, they started becoming angry at everybody, they started abusing everyone, shouting and screaming and throwing things around the house. That is also another sign that you know actually that the narcissist is experiencing an injury. You know what I mean? So most of the times, it is not even advisable to be around them. So if you are familiar with narcissistic abuse and you cause an injury, it is also very, very advisable that you have got to be as far away as you can from them, because in that case, you may sometimes put yourself in danger because you just don't know what to expect and you don't know what is going to happen, if you're around them, and, they may sometimes get you involved in their own problems, and sometimes they may even sometimes, on worst case scenarios, they may as well hurt you. And another way that you can experience, you can know that actually you have injured a narcissist. So if you cause a narcissistic injury, you will see the narcissist is going to fall sick all of a sudden. So out of nowhere, you know what I mean? You might have been dealing with an individual the last 2 days or the last day or something like that, and then all of a sudden you are going to see them fall ill. They are going to become extremely, extremely ill. You know what I mean? Sometimes you'll even see it in their face that they are actually falling sick for no apparent reason. It doesn't matter what you try to ask them, or even sometimes the explanation they're going to give, it is not going to make sense, because you're going to see them, their health is deteriorating. You know what I mean? So they are going to actually suffer health-wise. They're going to have different kinds. These illnesses may happen in so many different kinds of ways. You know what I mean? But of course, when you confront them, they're going to tell you something different. They may tell you, oh, you know what, they have got a flu, or sometimes they have caught a cold, or sometimes they're having a temperature or things like that. But if a narcissist has not had the temperature before, or an illness before, or a sickness before, and all of a sudden, eventually, out of nowhere, out of the blue, you see them falling sick for no apparent reason, it is a sign, guys. If you're aware about narcissistic abuse, it is a sign that they're going through an injury as well. You know what I mean? So that's why I've told you in my videos that these narcissists, they do everything in their power to make sure that they run away from the injury. They do not want to experience it. It's very, very difficult for them. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they cannot get out of it. It is very, very difficult. So for them to get out of the injury, they have got to find somebody around there who is going to validate them. You know, like to refresh or to revalidate them. You know what I mean? Because an injury is also invalidating a narcissist. You know what I mean? So they have to find somebody very quickly and immediately that is going to actually validate them so that they can come back to their senses, because the narcissist does not know how to wake up from an injury themselves. A healthy individual can always have a hurting situation or something like that. They will go back sometimes, reflect on things. Sometimes they'll even do it alone, but you will never see most of these things I've talked about, because a healthy individual, usually they will wake up from hurt or from pain. Yes, they will hurt sometimes, a few days, a few weeks, but at the end of the day, you're going to see them coming back and getting themselves back up together. You know what I mean? Even without help. But a narcissist cannot do that. A narcissist has got to get a very quick kind of validation, revalidation, so that they can now become themselves again. Another way that you can know that you've actually injured a narcissist, this may be in a case whereby you are actually in the vicinity, you are around them, you can see them, probably they are next to you or things like that. So when you actually injure a narcissist, you're going to see them all of a sudden. Some of you have experienced cases whereby all of a sudden their eyes are going to turn black. So for the most of you guys who have not seen the black eyes, you have already heard in my videos, I've told you guys that this whole thing is very deep and this whole thing is spiritual. So when you injure a narcissist, you all of a sudden see their eyes are turning black. Sometimes you're going to see them, the tone of their voice, or all of a sudden is going to alter, because at that moment they are raging and they are actually sometimes becoming even violent. So because at that moment they have snapped, so they are not themselves anymore. The person that you've known to be that narcissist previously, that person is gone already at that point. The time of the injury is something else takes over. So all of a sudden you will see that the eyes are turning black. Some of you guys have experienced this as well. And again, I want to know in the comment section below if those are the things you've seen. But also, again, you're going to see them, they are going to rage, and you're going to hear that voice, a voice in the tone that you've never heard anywhere on this universe. So when you talk about narcissistic injury, it can happen in so many ways. Me, myself, personally, those are the things I've experienced myself when it comes to narcissistic injury. So if there's something that I'm not mentioned in this video, guys, you can always share with us in the comment section below. Let us know which way you have injured the narcissist and what exactly have you experienced on your journey. That being said, guys, it's always a pleasure to have you guys on board. Remember, you can always speak. Speaking is a birthright. When you speak, you heal. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of freedom when you start to speak about your stories, because now you're letting things out into the universe, and these pains and traumas out into the universe. And those things are getting healed. You know what I mean? Use my platform. The Empath Speaker Project is there. Get in touch with me. I'll feature you on this platform where we will have actually a live video together, and you will have to explain to the world exactly what you went through. Because remember, you're speaking, you're also healing yourself, number one, and you're also healing somebody else. And at the end of the day, it's becoming a situation whereby we're making the world a better place. Other than that, guys, much love and blessings. Leave us a comment. Book a session, guys. Donate to and support to this cause. All the links, Cashapp and PayPal, they are in the description below. Let us know what you think, and until then, I'll get back to you in my next one. Much love and blessings. There's more signing out. Peace.